Listen, this is the season you're becoming a hockey fan. The NHL season starts today, and here are the basics that you need to know to start watching games. The NHL is made up of 32 teams, with 25 of those being based in the States and 7 of those being based in Canada. During a regular season, every team plays 82 games, which means that just during the regular season, you have over 1,300 chances to watch some hockey. But today, we're just going to go through the very basics that you need to watch a hockey game. Hockey is played in 3 20-minute periods, and the goal is pretty simple. You want to get the puck in this net the most times before the final buzzer goes off. Every hockey team can have a maximum of 23 players on their roster and has to have a minimum of 20. Each team is allowed to have 6 players on the ice at a time. Those 6 players are made up of 1 goalie, 2 defensemen, and then 3 offensive players, a left winger, a right winger, and a center. Those offensive position names are exactly what they sound like. Your center is generally your most aggressive player, and he'll play down the middle of the ice. Your left winger's field of play is on the left side of the ice, and your right winger's field of play is, you guessed it, the right side of the ice. When you're watching hockey for the first time, something you're going to notice is not only is the gameplay very fast, we also do something called line changes. While there are only 6 players on the ice at a time, remember that we have a roster of up to 23 people, and hockey teams play in what's called lines. Your defense players play in pairs, and your offense players play in trios. However, because hockey is so fast-paced and so intense, and because your lines are grouped together for specific reasons in terms of strength of play, hockey lines play in what's called shifts. And when we have a shift change, that means that one line is coming off of the ice and the next line is going on. We do not stop gameplay for a shift change. So throughout the game, you are going to see hockey players jumping off the bench onto the ice, while other players are jumping off the ice onto the bench. The only player that you're going to see stay on the ice the entire time is typically your goalie. While every team is required to have 2 goalies on their roster, it's very rare that you'll see a goalie change throughout the game unless they are injured or there's something really bad going on in terms of their gameplay. And let's get into penalties, because hockey does this in my favorite way of all sports. When players break certain rules, you're going to see penalties handed out. And when those penalties are handed out, they go and sit in glorified timeout. In the penalty box, the 2 things that you're typically going to hear are 2-minute minors or 5-minute majors. And whatever the length of time of the penalty is, that player has to stay in the penalty box for the entire clock. This triggers what we call a power play. Because the player in the penalty box cannot be replaced with another hockey player, their team has to play with 1 player less on the ice for the entirety of that penalty. The only thing that can end that penalty is if the other team, which is on a power play given that they have an extra player, scores a goal. And the last basic, teams can elect to pull their goalie out of the goal if they're down and want to make a bigger offensive play. Once that goalie has been pulled, they can replace him with an additional offensive skater. These are just some of the very basics to get you started watching the NHL today when the games start. If you're new to hockey or you have questions you've always wanted to know about the sport, be sure to drop them in the comments down below, and be sure to follow along for my NHL Basics series as I spend the season breaking down all of the basics of the game and taking you through the big news stories of the season.